afternoon, World of Legal Writing. We'd like to welcome you to a presentation on the conclusion section. My name is Mitchell Fillinger, and let's get started. So first, we just want to give you all a little overview of what the conclusion section is. So the content of the conclusion section, we really want these to be our final thoughts, relevant thoughts. We don't want to include anything that's irrelevant in this section. And obviously, conclusory thoughts. It's a tad self-explanatory in the name. We want this to be our main takeaway. The purpose of this section, we're trying to briefly sum up key points and state an explicit conclusion. And that explicitity is regardless of whether the legal conclusion that you're coming to is actually an explicit yes or no. You just want to make explicit what you have determined. The typical length, it could be as short as a sentence, but it could be as long as 3 or 4 sentences. It really just depends on how much information you're trying to convey. The rhetorical situation will always also play into this. Some special features of this, the restatement of the brief answer without all the surrounding facts is kind of how you could describe it. You're not going to include any of the factual areas of your memo in this, but you're just giving the hard answer. And this is going to add value as a summary recap for a strategic recommendation.
Right. So, my name's Brandon. As my esteemed colleague, Mr. Trubisky, was saying, you can keep it succinct, so very short, or you can be a little bit more verbose. It depends on the kind of memo you're writing. If you only have one problem, you can get right to the point. As they did here, they say straight up, they can't do it. Or you can get more verbose if you have a lot of issues. You maybe want to sum it up a little bit, or spend a little bit of time summing up the issues, but it's really a matter of preference. And it's really also dependent on how many issues you're addressing. So just keep that in mind when you're concluding, but try to be as concise and as clear as possible.
Okay, now for some key takeaways. Though it may be tempting, your conclusion should not be merely a restatement of your brief answer. Rather, it should be the overall idea that the argument is made for or against. Also, it should logically follow the argument. It should be also an explicit conclusion, even if the conclusion is not an explicit yes or no. Therefore, you should conclude your whole argument, wrap it all up, and give it a satisfying conclusion.
The main takeaway is that your conclusion should finalize your thoughts and ideas for the memo.